Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, helping people in San Diego buy, sell, and refinance their biggest investment, delivering you timely truths, exposing important issues, and helping you get into the right home. Here are your hosts, real estate expert Daniel Beer, top-ranked professional by sales volume at one of San Diego's largest brokerages, and his mortgage partner, Todd Pianin, with over $2 billion in funded loans.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. We are back here on Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin, brought to you here by the Daniel Beer Group over at KW and my man Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank.
Good day, Dan. How are you? Happy Sunday to you.
I'm awesome, man. Anytime I'm hanging out with anyone from Home Street Bank, I'm good.
Oh, God. You love Home Street Bank.
On the line, we also have today a guest, Erik Kaplan, THD Credit Consulting. This is the guy you go to when you find out that some, bogus medical bill of some kind from 4 years ago that you thought had paid, maybe did pay, who knows what happened, all of a sudden creeps up on some credit report that you see right at the wrong time. You're trying to buy a car, a house, refinance, whatever it might be, and you need it removed quickly and immediately. Look, this is something that most people run into. This last time I purchased a home, I ran into it. I had a medical bill that allegedly had been unpaid for I don't know how long, and it's obviously something I pay all my bills. I'd always have. I always had a very good credit score, but all of a sudden I had some shock to the system when I found out that I had this blemish. Erik Kaplan, his team at THD Credit Consulting, jumped in. And in a very short period, it was clear. My purchase went through with zero glitches, and we're happy to have Erik Kaplan back on the line today. You can reach him, by the way, if you have any credit repair needs. 800-822-7120. What's going on, Erik? How you doing today?
Good, Dan. How you doing? Good to be back.
Thanks for coming back, Erik. We appreciate it, and thanks for cleaning up Dan's credit because he was able to refinance to a nice loan program.
Well, we're glad we could help him. It's important to us to make people happy.
So, what's the number one thing that you get, Erik? I mean, like when people call you, what's talk to us about your land a little bit. Tell us what.
Majority of the people that come to us lately are individuals that obviously are looking for a home loan, or just trying to get their credit, straight so they can qualify for a home loan. A lot of the times it could be, as Dan mentioned, collection accounts that are older that creep back on the credit report, or it could be, some late payments that they have that they might have missed, that we can try to get removed from the credit report. Majority of the time it's just trying to get people, their scores up so that they can qualify for the home loan.
Got it. And so what's the most is the most common thing a collection account? Is that pretty common?
It runs the gamut. I wouldn't really say that the collection is the main thing, but just having a missed payment or an old medical debt is definitely one of the bigger obstacles people have right now because they may miss something, a copay that's $50, $100 that they
exactly. It was benign. It was just nothing. Right. And then all of a sudden it turns into the biggest deal. Yeah.
Yeah, because a collection could lower your credit score, by 20, 30 points. And by getting it deleted, it'll raise that back up.
So, question for you. A lot of people are confused when I talk to them as clients. They say I have an open collection account on my credit report, and I'm just going to call the collection company and pay it off, and my credit score should go up. Right?
Same mistake I made. Exactly.
Yeah. Is that?
No, the reality is that if you're going to call a medical collection or any type of collection, you want to make sure that you can ask for a deletion letter so that they will delete it from the credit report. If they will not delete it from the credit report, there are ways to get it removed from the report after it's paid. But you should always pay it.
Here's what I don't understand though, and why I see you as somewhat of a magician is that I tried getting this medical bill removed. I can't even tell you. If you think calling the cable companies a bad and holding on, holding for that long and going through that many automated menus and press one for that. I just about had a nervous breakdown and finally just got it over to you. The next thing I know, you send me a letter just saying, "Hey, it's done." Why is it so seemingly easy for you? Maybe it's not that easy for you guys, but you're just that well organized. What is it? Why can you get rid of it so easily, but it causes me to have a nervous breakdown with all of the red tape I have to go through?
Yeah, it's the truth. I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this about 10 years. So I just know how to get certain items off a credit report. it's not that I know a trick better than anybody else. I just know, what letter to use to send to the credit bureaus to get an item like that deleted from the credit report.
Is it so? If I have an open collection account, Eric, let's say for the sake of argument, I have $80 for a copay or something. Is it better for me just to turn it over to you and then you guys go through the whole deletion process and maybe even negotiate it down?
Typically, you cannot negotiate a medical debt. I mean, they may waive a little bit of the interest.
Right.
But yes, I mean, if in order for you not to if you don't want to tackle it in something, most people come to us because they don't want to handle it. They want us to handle it for them, and we know what we're doing.
Right. Is it quicker to have you handle it than to pay it and then have you do it after the fact, I guess?
Yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It really depends on if a collection agency will agree to delete that account from your credit report.
Got it.
And I'll remind you, you're listening to Real Estate Exposed here on News Radio 600 KOGO. We have Erik Kaplan here as a guest, THD Credit Consulting. Erik, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you should they have any kind of credit repair issue they need handled very, very quickly and efficiently?
They can give me a call at 800-822-7120.
So is there a type of is there a demographic you see? An age group you see more of? Is it typically people with really bad credit just trying to nudge it up, or people with really good credit that find a blemish they weren't aware of? Who makes the most use out of your service?
It runs the gamut. I mean, we have a lot of everything. I mean, we have people that are just trying to qualify for a mortgage. We have people that maybe just filed bankruptcy or discharged their bankruptcy. They want to rebuild their credit. People straight out of college that have no credit or might have had a blemish during college. I mean, it's all walks of life that come to us for help. It really, doesn't really matter.
And speaking of people that want to get a mortgage, it's interesting. I'm curious to see if you're seeing a spike in your activity right now, because in the refinance world, Todd, you're seeing a massive spike. I mean, refinances are up across the country 21% ever since Brexit has hit. Brexit, again, just a quick recap. England and the UK's vote to leave the European Union, and that'll unravel over the course of time. But in any case, as soon as that vote went through, all kinds of money from around the world flooded U.S. Treasuries, flooded the yen actually also as a safe haven currency.
Yep.
That tons of money running into U.S. Treasuries, 10-year Treasury bonds here in the United States, which is what your mortgage rates are tied to, have officially hit a low as of this past week, an all-time low, with rates right there at all-time lows. And refinances have spiked 21%. We're seeing massive refinance activity. Are you seeing more activity on your end too, Erik, with people that are trying to get their refi done and need credit repair?
Yeah, I mean, majority of the time when rates go low, people, first-time home buyers want to jump in, people refinancing. I mean, you definitely see a spike in people trying to get their credit back up just so they can qualify to get in when the rates are low.
I mean, I know for us, Taisha and I are probably sending you, one or two clients a month, probably on average right now?
Yeah, I mean, we
and you got a gamut of you probably have 3,000 of Taisha and I's, right?
we do business across the country, so yes, we're quite busy lately.
Right.
What are you seeing as far as the refinance activity, Todd? And is this a moment where who should be calling?
Everybody.
If you purchased or did a loan, who should call?
Everybody should be calling their existing lender. It's kind of like it's almost. Taisha and I are so busy right now that we haven't really had a chance to reach out to a ton of clients. I mean, we've been concentrating, mostly on our purchases and making sure those clients are taken care of. But even like 9 o'clock last night, a client we hadn't done a loan for in 3 years emails me and goes, "Oh, should I refinance right now?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. Taisha or I will call you today." So, we're not doing a very good job. I can say it on the air. We're not doing a very good job of reaching out to our past clients. And
well, you guys are purchase-focused generally.
Right. So, it's been...
there's a big opportunity there.
It's a huge opportunity. And, you guys have been keeping us super busy, and we've had a lot of short escrows and stuff. So, that's been...
But that's how business needs to work, though. There is a huge opportunity for any current and existing borrower. I'm in the middle of a refinance that'll close out this week. And I wish I was starting my refi today and not, a month ago when I started it. I really wish I was starting it today. I'd be in at an even lower rate.
Right.
And there's an opportunity for look, if you're a lender, my God, call everyone you've done a loan for over the course of over the course of your entire book of business.
Exactly. But if you call someone the last 18 months, especially with San Diego County home prices going up, I've got guys in my office that are that I'm coaching, and I'm telling them that they need to be calling, anyone who closed a loan in the last 18 months, especially FHA, VA. It's a great time for them to refinance. It's unbelievable.
And then of course that will be a direct benefit to you. Cole, if you want to reach out here, you want to talk to Todd and his team over at Home Street Bank. If you're thinking, maybe I'm not in the home that I'm going to be staying in over the course of the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I really think, and I'll say this over and over, especially as the market starts to shift and continues to, we are absolutely, I'll reconfirm this every week here on air for you over the course of as long as I need to until I stop sounding crazy because everyone else finally picks up on it. We are officially in the beginnings of a downshifting market. Okay, and because of that, you need to think through a couple things. You have this new opportunity that England and the UK has given us. They've given us this gift of ultra low rates, and they're continuing to fall. So get yourself into the property you're going to live in and be in happily and comfortably for the duration of the next market cycle, and lock that in at an all-time low rate.
You can afford to buy more now than you could afford to buy before. And if you've got credit issues, we've got credit solutions because we've got Erik.
Well, it translates directly to home affordability. It's a direct translation. And so give us a call. We're going to head to break. If you need to connect with me, myself, Daniel Beer Group, anything real estate related, or Todd Pianin at Home Street Bank for loans, give us a shout. We're heading to break. The phone number for us is 800-676-2420. That's 800-676-2420. We're coming back next. U.S. global oil reserves are now number 1.
Wow.
What's happening? We're back with you. It's Real Estate Exposed here on News Radio 600 KOGO. You're listening to Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. And we are back with Erik Kaplan on the line, THD Credit Consulting, and we're talking about credit issues. A lot of you have a refinance opportunity staring you in the face due to the UK's gift that we've received and the beautiful low rates that we now have as money from all over the world pours into U.S. Treasury bonds, which directly impact yields downward, which directly correlate with your beautiful traditional 30-year fixed rate mortgage,
or even trying to get a credit card. Credit's cheap right now. Getting a car loan, 0% financing for 60 months. We are about real estate, and that's what we talk about. Todd Pianin here from Home Street Bank. Love to talk to you anytime. But Erik, one of the things I see popping up tremendously in my industry is credit fraud. What do you tell clients to do to sort of protect themselves from credit fraud?
I would suggest that if they see any suspicious activity on, if they see an inquiry that doesn't belong to them, I would get a monitoring, credit monitoring account with one of the, with Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. Some of these, there's Credit Karma out there that's free. Credit Karma is a good place to kind of monitor if anybody is accessing your credit, because you can see if there's an inquiry on there, or you can see if your credit card has been used, because it'll show a spike in the amount. So you definitely get a credit monitoring somewhere, so you can monitor that.
So what do you think of like these things like LifeLock or all that stuff that you see on TV? What's the deal with that?
I'm not a big fan of LifeLock. I think that LifeLock charges a little bit too much money for what they're offering. There's you can put a credit freeze on your credit by Experian. I think they charge $14 or maybe it's $12 a month, and you can basically monitor your credit that way, so that if anybody, if you see an inquiry, a hard inquiry that someone's trying to access your credit, they'll notify you right away. So I have a monitoring through a company called Credit Check Total.
Right.
And they charge like $11 a month, and I keep that there just to make sure that I'm aware of anything that happens. They notify you right away.
So so for our listeners, what's a hard pull versus a soft pull?
A hard pull is if you get a mortgage loan, if you get a credit card, an auto loan, it's going to lower your credit a little bit, maybe a point, 2 points here and there. A soft pull is if you use it through a consumer credit reporting agency like Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. These are soft pulls that will not negatively affect your credit.
So like if I have an existing credit card, or Dan has an existing credit card for the sake of argument, we want to increase our line of credits on those cards. Do they do a soft pull or do they do a hard pull for that?
It depends on, like, for example, Capital One will do a soft pull, but if you're looking for a substantial line of credit, an increase in the credit, they may do a hard pull just to see your credit. So it really depends on what you're asking for. It's a $500 increase, they're probably not going to do a hard pull. If it's a $10,000-$15,000 increase, they may do it.
So what's your rule of thumb on that? How often should people be like getting their credit cards increased, or is more credit cards better, or what's what are some of the tricks that people should know?
Typically, if you have 3 credit cards, you're good. You should want to keep the balances below 30% of the credit limit. So if you have a $10,000 credit limit, you want to keep it below $3,000. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of credit cards. If you have 3, that's good. So typically I would tell them to stay with that. So
3 is the magic number, or more?
You can have as many as you want, but you only need 3 to really get your scores up.
Got it. So if you have more, does that hurt you?
It does not hurt you. It really depends on what the balance you keep on your credit. So, if you have 5 credit cards and you're at 80% of the credit limit on all of them, it's going to lower your scores dramatically.
Got it.
If you have 5 and you're at 30, your scores are probably going to be phenomenal.
Got it. What's another trick that people should know about?
When you typically go to get a car, once a car dealership will run your credit, 4 or 5 times after to try to get the best deal. So sometimes you want to be careful when you go car shopping. You don't go too many dealerships. Because
everyone will pull your credit, and that's a hard pull, I assume.
Correct.
Got it.
It's not just one hard pull. It's usually 5 or 6 hard pulls.
Got it. So what do you go in there and tell them you got good, perfect credit, quit running my credit, I just want to look at cars?
Well, you just say, if you're going to shop around, just go to, don't go to many dealerships. Just try to go to one dealership and let them pull instead of going to 2 or 3.
Got it.
Well, that's Erik Kaplan. Erik Kaplan, THD Credit Consulting. If you have any credit needs whatsoever, call him, 800-822-7120. And on a bit of a different note, what's really catching my eye here as we look around the global landscape, the world seems to be changing. Seems to be changing pretty quickly. Brexit, again, a major event in Europe. And then you just have you have so many events all over the world, including the fact that the United States now is the #1 holder of oil reserves.
What does that mean?
Then we have more oil in the United States at this point, literally, than Saudi Arabia. It is a huge shift in there's just going to be, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but it's a huge shift in what could be our relationship with Saudi Arabia. Right, and that who knows what that leads to, and any further instability possibly in the Middle East as Saudi Arabia, if they can't sell us all their oil, I'm not sure why we'd continue buying as much as we always have. Right. We have more than they have. It'll be interesting to see that because it will impact them. It will impact them economically.
I can see it. So, Erik, if people want to get a hold of you, what's a great number? How do you want them to get a hold of you? Shout it out.
800-822-7120.
Is there a webpage they can go to and ask any questions or anything?
Yes, they can go to thdcreditconsulting.com.
That's awesome. And thanks again, Erik, for having done my quick little credit repair. And that's just...
He did my credit repair, too.
The family's thrilled.
My pleasure.
It's just a quick little thing, right? You have the medical bill just hanging out there that you don't know about. And when you find out, it was just unbelievably easy. So... that was awesome. We appreciate it. We're also going to remind you listening that the San Diego home selling workshops, they're coming up back to you in July. It's a special round.
Just a one-day only deal.
It's a special round. Last time we did them, we had so many people that were not able to make it or didn't have tickets available for the times they wanted to be there. So we weren't planning on doing this again for a couple of months, but instead we're having one workshop one day later this month in July. Give us a shout for details and your free tickets. But this is the place where you learn how to sell your home for up to $62,000 and upwards more than you otherwise would have. It's where you learn how to be strategic, where to use buyer psychology in your favor to create a negotiating advantage. And you won't want to miss that. The tickets are available by calling 800-676-2420. We're going to be back with you here coming up next This is Real Estate Exposed with Daniel Beer and Todd Pianin. What's happening? We're back with you, and I also might be absolutely deaf at this point because I accidentally had my headset on full blast volume.
Oh, I should have spoken. That would have been awesome.
Oh, my God. I thought I didn't know what was going on. You're listening to Real Estate Exposed, though, and we are excited to be back with you here. This segment, we're going to cover all kinds of information that as a home seller you need to know in order to maximize your experience and your equity. I'm Daniel Beer with the Daniel Beer Group. Year to date, per MLS, per the San Diego County MLS, the top performing agent in the entire county, all brokerages and brands included. That's per MLS.
Love that.
And Broker Metrics data. And my man Todd Pianin, the guy that we choose to send our friends, family, clients, coworkers to when they have any kind of loan need. Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank, his partner Taisha Lindsay. What's happening? We're back. We're going to give people information on how to sell their home.
I can't wait to talk about that. But one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do a shout out to our listeners right now. I need a favor. I need you to go to our Facebook page at realestateexposed.com because football season is coming upon us. And for those of you who've been loyal listeners for a long time, know that Dan Beer lost a bet to me on the Super Bowl and has yet to pay. So if you go to Facebook, if you go to our Real Estate Exposed page, I want you to go there and I want you to say, Dan, don't welch on your bet. I want to see, and I think that Dan, the number one, I think that for every listener,
grape juice thing?
For every listener,
is that grape juice?
No, the vest. For every listener that goes to Real Estate Exposed and puts on there, Dan, do not welch on your bet.
What welch?
Welch on your bet.
I think that grape juice thing?
Yes, like grape juice thing. I think that they should get either a free home valuation by the Daniel Beer Group or they can get a free appraisal if they contact us for a refi.
Well, thanks for volunteering me, Todd.
I love it.
Okay. I suppose that's what I get.
That's what you get for waiting because we only got I think 2 months left until the new season starts and a new bet will happen.
All right. Well,
okay. Let's go into what's happening in politics right now because I'm drifting. Facebook, Real Estate Exposed. Go there. Post. Thanks. Moving on. Okay. So this week, what came out in the news is Hillary Clinton, FBI says no charges. The next day, President Obama comes on and endorses Hillary. I mean, it's just an amazing impact that basically saying she has done nothing wrong. And I mean, for those of you who are political followers, I watched 13 Hours, the real story of Benghazi, and if you saw what happened in that movie, you would whatever. I don't understand. General Petraeus he has to resign because of less infractions than she did, and the FBI says we're not going to bring up any charges. Rigged system. I don't know. Possibly.
Todd, that's your opinion. I personally have no idea. I'm just going to resign myself to the fact that I know a lot about real estate.
You do.
And very little about Benghazi.
You do. And I think that but
here's something, honestly.
Yeah.
Not just Benghazi. Any political issue. Sometimes what strikes me is how regardless, and again, I don't know Benghazi. Okay, I have no opinion on it of any kind. So this isn't about that. Any political issue, I do find it curious when people are overly committed to their position on any of these issues. When the reality is, very few of us have very much of a concrete idea of what really happened beyond what we're fed by national media outlets. And so, and coincidentally, all of our opinions typically also match our political, position in, what side of the aisle we're on, whether right or left. I just find that curious. That's why I don't have that strong an opinion because I just don't know that much. I do know a whole lot about how to get your home sold. I can share that with you if you're interested.
Which we're going to hear about. I'm interested. I'm going to hear about it in a minute. But what I want to tell you is if you watch the movie 13 Hours, it's on iTunes.
Is it a good watch?
It's a great watch.
Okay,
and
it's a great watch.
It's a great watch. And the guys who were there were actually on site when they filmed the movie, and it came from a book that was totally told by these guys from the GRS.
So you feel like that's a good source?
It's
All right,
a good
maybe I'll
source.
watch it.
It's
I'll get myself
unbiased.
educated. I'll watch that.
It's non-political. It's unbiased.
So give the movie name again. What is it?
13 Hours.
13 Hours. I'm going to watch it. You watch it. We'll come back and see if we all feel the same way as Todd. And look, Todd shares a very popular opinion, actually. A lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, right now. So anyway, so let's talk about some exciting stuff, shall we? Can we talk about what's coming up?
Well, here's something I want to talk about. If you're selling your home, the issue of price is starting to drive me nuts. And I want to impart a little bit of wisdom on you on how to price your home, how to think of the pricing process, and how not to think about it. The one thing pricing isn't is that when you're pricing your home, you are absolutely not choosing the sales price. Rather, what you're doing is you're selecting a marketing price, a marketing number that hopefully validates and supports a greater plan and process to market your home and fully expose it. Your home can only capture full market value, which is what every agent loves to say. You know, we're going to get you the most value. We're going to get you the full market value. We're going to get you the most the market will bear at the fastest amount of time, blah, 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 blah. That's what agents say, right? But do they have a plan and process that actually brings the market to your home and has buyers competing against one another? If they can't deliver the market to your home, but rather they just deliver individual viewings from individual buyers one at a time in full, in their own privacy in the absence of competition, it's by definition categorically impossible that you can have full market value if the market does not participate in the valuation process. And one of the ways in which most people out there ensure that they are not going to get most market value is by disinviting people from even having the opportunity to experience your home. Okay? And the biggest way they do that is price. People believe that if they price higher, they will get more money. It actually makes, on the surface, it makes more sense.
Aren't you going to be able to gives you room to negotiate, doesn't it?
That's what people think, right?
Right?
But interestingly, it's room to negotiate. What does negotiate mean? It means come down.
Right.
And the reality is that a buyer in this marketplace is more than willing, in any marketplace, frankly, is more than willing to pay you fair market value. You have to, establish that there's a market for the property and that buyer isn't the only buyer interested in the home, because that lends all power to the buyer and you're transferring that from yourself, the seller, to them. But also, you have to be able to set up a competitive process and you have to get full market participation. The one thing that price can do for you is invite people to see it and to want to see it, to have a desire to see it, or it can make your home invisible. And so the best pricing tip you can get is you actually want to price your home a hair below probable market value, a hair below. See, the moment you have people excited about seeing your home and rushing to your house, and then there's a process to get them to compete with one another, which we call our 5-day blitz. That's a trademarked marketing program that we deliver on a weekly basis, multiple times each week. See, if you can deliver the full market to experience your house, asking price becomes irrelevant. We've all seen dozens and dozens and hundreds and thousands of homes all around us selling above ask. Why does that happen?
But let me ask a question. So when I look for a home, I'm sitting in my boxer shorts in front of my computer. So what's your pricing tip? What's it? What I would say is that if you're selling your home and you understand that your buyer is in their undershorts at their home on a computer, right?
Actually visualize that. Think about what that looks like and think about what they're doing mechanically on their computer screen. They're not typing in, let me see homes up to $507,000. They're typing in, let me see homes up to $500,000. They're typing in, let me see homes up to $600,000 or to $750,000 or to $1 million. And there's these important price breaks you have to respect. If you judge that a home, and I'll give you a concrete example. We recently had a home in Escondido that we judged was more than likely a low $400,000 number, maybe a 405, maybe a 410. That's about where it was going to be. And the majority of the homes in that neighborhood were selling actually under 400.
Right.
but we thought we had a pretty special home.
Okay.
So what did we do? Well, we had the option to price like most people might have, and premium priced it $420, $430, thinking we might be thinking we had a premium home, and knowing we had a premium home, we did have one. So we might have gone that route, but we also understood that if we went that route, what we would have effectively have done is disinvited the entire viewing public that's searching for a home up to $400,000. What did we do? I mean, well, first off, let's make something clear. Price doesn't stand on its own, okay? There's a huge process in which you have to implement activities that are proven to get the market to participate and to compete against one another.
Right.
But then to support that, we priced at 4. Right? By pricing at 400, what was the result? Well, it was that we sold for $417,000.
So you went over asking price
by $17,000.
Okay, so why wouldn't I want to do a range then? Why wouldn't I want to do like $395 to $415 or something like that?
All of you that are considering a range, what your agent hasn't yet shared with you is that the only place that a range shows up is on MLS. Okay, so all of the other websites where you have these thousands and thousands of buyers all looking for homes, be that Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com, my own website, Redfin, any of these websites, doesn't matter which one, there's thousands of others. They only display the high number. In fact, the proof of that is I'll always tell you, if you want a free listing, if you literally want a free listing, go to Realtor.com and go ahead and email me. I'll give you my email. It's dan@danielbeergroup.com. Go ahead and email me a listing with a range on it. The reason I'm offering you a free listing, if you can do that, is because you'll never find it. It doesn't exist. When you're pricing, price to get maximum buyer activity, price will be pushed to its maximum capacity, provided you have a proven process in place supporting it. And that's what we call on the Daniel Beer Group our 5-day Blitz program. Reach out to us if you need anything at all. We're going to break, but we're coming back next. The number here is 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420. We're going to be giving out free tickets to the home selling workshop. That's next. Stay with us. What's happening? We're back with you. Real Estate Exposed here on News Radio 600 KOGO. By the way, very quickly, if you're a real estate agent looking to improve your business, we're actually bringing on 2 new associates onto the Daniel Beer Group. Give us a shout, 800-676-2420. But I'm here with Todd Pianin of Home Street Bank. What's happened, But what
I'm so excited about is what we're doing, something we've never done before, Dan. We're doing a 1-day only home selling seminar. We're doing 2 of them because the amount of people that we had at the last seminar didn't get to come. We ran out of tickets. I'm so excited. So tell us where it is, what the deal is. I'm super excited to hear about this.
July 27th. All right, here's how you get your free tickets to the workshop. July 27th, it's going to be held at the Courtyard Marriott, Rancho Bernardo. July 27th, 12:15.
Free lunch.
Or at 6:30.
Free snacks.
12:15.
Free lunch.
Or 6:30.
Free snacks.
During lunch or after work. There's going to be a time that works for you. Get your tickets. They're going to go fast. This is the only place we've advertised them so far. And, of course, that will not be true anymore as of a week from now. So give us a shout. Here's what you're going to learn. Let me go through a quick list,
Where can they call Austin and tell them? Then you can give the number again.
The place to get your free tickets is 800-676-2420. One more time. Let me give you that. Grab your pen. It's 800-676-2420.
Oh, and also when you call, tell Austin, make sure Dan doesn't welch on his bet.
What you will learn at these workshops, how to make upwards of an extra $62,000 on the sale of your home using the 5-day Blitz trademarked process. That's the big giveaway. Every step of that process handed to you, literally every step. It's a blueprint on how to go get your home sold. There's nothing we sell at the event. We don't announce our email and phone. We don't do any of that. We actually just give you information. You go do with it what you please.
A guy flew out from Arizona for the event.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He's using your 5-day Blitz because he wants to move back to San Diego.
How awesome.
I mean, that was incredible.
And that serves the entire real estate market. So that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
How to sell your home within 5 days of going on the market, okay? How to sell your home within 5 days of going on the market and for top dollar. There are too many people allowing too many strangers to just dominate their lives for too many months at a time. Have you ever sold your home and had a buyer? Well, yeah, I want to see the home at 3 on Tuesday, and then a few days later, someone else wants to see the home at so and so on Wednesday, and then a week later you get an appointment. They want to see it at 9:30 a.m. You got kids. You're trying to get them all ready to go. It's a mess. Okay, get your home sold predictably within 5 days of going on the market. Do it for top dollar because you create a competitive environment. All right. We teach you step by step how to actually use buyer psychology. It's important we examine it step by step. How do you use buyer psychology in your favor to create a negotiating advantage? What home improvements should you be doing? Which ones should you not?
Like, should I redo the kitchen?
And let me tell you this. It's before you go to the workshop.
Right.
Don't do anything.
Don't redo the kitchen?
Don't do anything because it is just too often. It's sad. It's too often that we show up to someone's house and, they say, hey, look, we just did this or we just did that or we just painted. It's like, congrats on painting, but you kind of used 2 decades ago's colors. Right. So,
that's true. You do give a tip at the seminars about what's the right color to use.
It's not about your favorite color.
Right.
What does the market want? We share that with you. What home improvements should you be doing? Which ones should you not be doing? We touch on staging, how to coordinate. A lot of people want to know, how do you coordinate the buying and selling process so you're only making one move and it's convenient to you? We're going to answer all your questions. Come to the San Diego Home Selling Workshops. It's a special July event on July 27th. Get your free tickets for you and a guest. The phone number is 800-676-2420. That's 800-676-2420. I'm going to hand the mic to Todd Pianin. I'm Daniel Beer. Been great being with you on behalf of the Daniel Beer Group at Keller Williams Realty. I'll be back with you again next week.
Don't forget you can find us on Facebook, iTunes, SoundCloud, all over the place. Real Estate Exposed on Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank. Remember the FDIC equal housing lender, MLS number, ID number 3040014. Have a great Sunday.